Welcome to day 2 of my presidential campaign video blog. I had tremendous response on my video from yesterday, and by tremendous response, I mean one of my uncles left a comment about how my brother looks cooler on his Facebook picture. This is a fact, he does look cooler than me on his Facebook picture. Back to the issues. Uh, a lot of people that I know are pretty excited about Rand Paul, but I don't really understand that. He's pretty clearly a corporate party hack, and he endorsed Romney in the last election cycle, even while his own father was running. I'm a huge Ron Paul fan. In fact, if you have questions about the rest of my policy, you can kind of just look at the policies of Paul in 2012, and that's pretty much my policy across the board. There's a few differences between myself and Ron Paul. For one, he's an amazing principled man who's served the country for 50 years. I certainly don't have those credentials. But on the other hand, I'll be on camera 24/7, so, I'll have those credentials eventually if you let me. The other thing that's different about myself and Ron Paul is that I'm not religious. I think he's religious. I think he's into I think there was some debate about whether he thought evolution was real or something of that nature. I didn't really follow it. That's not really a real legitimate campaign issue, in my opinion. But just so we're clear on it, I intend to be completely transparent. I actually absolutely do believe pretty much everything about evolution. Science, of course, is always improving itself and changing over time to give you a better, more clear picture of what's happening. And evolution is certainly one of those uh, facets of science that has been improving gradually over the last 50 or 100 years. And to me, it's just irrefutable at this point. I mean, we can find places in the soil where there's certain organisms that lived at that time, and that matches the fossil record all over the planet. So that would be a pretty amazing hoax if somebody was digging around the planet millions of years ago at the exact same time to plant fake evidence. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Um, yeah, so pretty much those are my campaign platform. They match Ron Paul's exactly in 2012. I want to audit the Fed, maybe even in the Fed. I want to audit the IRS, maybe in the IRS. I think it's unconstitutional, frankly, despite whatever amendment may have been passed. I think that taxation without representation is one of the founding principles of this country, and I'm strongly against uh, everything the IRS has done, certainly in my lifetime and probably before as well. There's a lot of, you can get into a lot of arguments about that where people claim, oh, you're crazy, we couldn't have roads, we couldn't have schools, all this sort of thing. But we had roads and schools before 1913. Um, and well, 1915 actually was when the IRS was implemented. The Federal Reserve was implemented in 1913, so that's why I use that date. To me, it seems like the country went off track pretty badly ever since the institution of the Federal Reserve, at least with regards to personal liberty and monetary policy. Sure, there's been a lot of other advancements that are great. No, I certainly wouldn't make the claim that we should go back to the racial segregation, etc. So